now going to go to our live feature for the day. Tony is going to talk to us about the senatorial race and other lessons. I want you guys to all be smiling because we're going to be filming this, and you're going to soon be on campaign commercials. So, Tony, do you want to come up and join us? Oh, good to have you here, bud. Yeah, another hand again.
First of all, thanks. I appreciate coming here and speaking with everybody. And I think everybody knows probably who I am and what I've done. The nice thing is to talk with Rotary today is, one thing I like about Rotary, Rotary is business professionals in a community. So yesterday we had a chamber meeting yesterday. There's about 130 people there at chamber yesterday when we got to give a good speech yesterday. And one of the things I want to talk about is why I'm doing this. And a lot of people have come up to me, and truthfully, tons of people says, why are you getting involved in something, when you're so spread out between Okanagan County and Stevens County and everything else. And, my answer has been crystal clearly the same thing. I'm a good professional business person. I've seen lots of things in the last couple of years in our area. I've seen our unemployment go down. So you look at Stevens County currently today through March, we're at 11.9%. Ferry County is at 12.5% unemployment. It's actually going the wrong way. You look at home sales. We've only sold 12 homes in Ferry County this year through June 1st. In Stevens County, we're 16 homes down from last year versus this year in house sales. And not only that, but our dollar per house sale is going down. So all of us as business owners and homeowners that sit in this room have got to sit there and say, okay, what do we really got going on, and what is the real problem that we have? My success has always surrounded myself with good employees. The biggest question I get is, gosh, how can you step down from your dealerships and give us a 100% commitment? I can do that because I got good people running my dealerships, good policies, good procedures, good partners in all 5 of my businesses that I own. And it's a success to show that the government's the largest business in the world. The government's the largest business in the state of Washington. Why don't we have a professional business person in there running it? People have been in there, they say the same thing. I hear this over and over and over now. I've only been a Stevens County resident for a little over 12 years. I came from a little town of Enumclaw between Seattle and Tacoma over there. So I still understand small town roots. I still have some people over there that I call acquaintances and friends and whatnot. So I understand the differences of both sides of the mountains. My biggest thing that I have a problem with is when I'm signing my employees' checks, I look at the taxes every month taken out of there. I employ over 100 full-time employees currently today. And I look at all that stuff and I get to hear it from the ground up from my own employees. Gosh, where's my money going to? What is going on? Where does my money go to when I vote for a levy? Where does my money come when you're taking out of my check? Of course, they think it just goes to the employer, of course, and we get to big houses and do all this kind of fun stuff. They don't understand that the state mandates us to collect this money, our sales tax, our B&O tax, the federal withholding, L&I, and I could probably go on with a couple more that I missed, that we get an opportunity to pay to the state for doing business in the state of Washington. When you look at all that kind of stuff, you say, okay, well, how can I make a change, and what can I do different than the person that's already running? One is I'm already involved in my community. I'm the best communicator, I believe, in our community to get that message out fast. I personally own a newspaper that goes out to 49,000 homes currently today. It goes to your mailbox. I think everyone in this room gets that. Number 2 is I've got 100 employees in both Okanagan area and Stevens County area. They want to see nothing but the best out of me to support our community, to try to do a better job. They're willing to do grassroots for me, to go out and try to get involved, to talk to people, let them know what's going on in our community. The best part is our social network media that we have. We have over 10,000 people a month hitting our websites, through our emails, through our Facebook accounts, and everywhere else. Not only that, but here's the best part. All of you, most of you in this room, 3,500 people a month come through my dealerships currently right now today in District 7. So when you say, gosh, how can you get that information out and how can you do a better job than your competitor, it's very simple. If we've got an issue, we can get that message out that's very important to get that thing passed. It's easy to say when you're a senator or a representative of the state to say, I voted on no tax, or I was on that bill, or I did this and I did that. The problem that we have is in District 7, none of us really know what goes on. Well, if you're a good grassroots person and you're a good communicator, you can get that message out to ask for support. Because each one of you is going to have a different idea of what's important. We're all going to have two sides to the story. The bottom line is we got to get on one page and build a team, and we got to get going to get something passed. Like I said, you can sit there and listen to the senator and the reps we have today, which I personally like all of them, just to let you know. I like the Denzel, I like Shelley Short, Joel Kretz. They're customers of the dealerships, they're friends, they're everything else. My belief is, I believe I'm a stronger deal maker. And what I mean by that is, I think you need to get more involved when you're talking about a bill, or when you're bringing a bill into the Senate right now, is how you're going to get that passed and who's going to be on your team to get that deal done. I did not like, personally, how it went down in District 7 last year in our election campaign. I don't believe rocks should be thrown, because if we're all on the same page as a district, why aren't we all going the same way? You know, if you think about this, we've got 136,000 or so people in the District 7, about 54,000 total voters. I'm the only one who rose my hand and said, I'm willing to give this an opportunity to give back, go fight for everybody. I want to fight for my children. I just graduated one from high school this year. You know what his number one thing is? He can't wait to go to Spokane and go to college and probably never come home to meet his mom. You know why? Because there's no jobs, there's no unemployment, there's no growth. And so when you look at these young people and you look at the census of Stevens County, and I'll give you one example. Age 19, age 20, and age 21, out of 44,000 people through 2013, we only got about 300 of those ages in our community today. How are you ever going to grow your business? You know, it starts at the youth. I got asked yesterday from a young gentleman yesterday in a room. He says, what are you going to do for the young people for unemployment? I have one of the best thought out employment plan that you're ever going to see. I'm going to announce it in July. People, it makes people mad. Well, why aren't you announcing it now? And I'll share with you why not. I'm not in a primary. I've already been copied on a couple things that I've been done and where I've been a little successful in my campaign. I can't just lay everything out today and have one person kind of pick it apart and throw rocks at me, because I'm not going to go down that route. It will be announced in July how I believe that one person with a group of people and a team leader can absolutely take our unemployment down to levels that are manageable, that's never been done in our district before. And I look forward to that challenge. As a business owner, I look forward to that challenge. I want it for all of us. I'm not talking about buying big box stores or bringing in anything different. I'm talking about filling the Alcolas. I'm talking about that Excel building. I look out my window every day for 11 years when you drive into our beautiful community that still sits there today. I'm a deal maker. Every day, I'm making deals. So who's involved more in our communities? You know, you drive by my dealership. I'm always remodeling. I'm always doing the best I can. I'm always involved with my government, my state, my local. I'm involved in red tape everywhere there goes, it seems like. I've always came out doing a good job. I handle my business very crystal clearly. It's great to have partners like Dave and other associates with me that where we've been there and we've done that. It's going to be a tough job. There's no doubt about it. I look forward to a challenge. Once again, it goes back to, gosh, why do you want to do this? I'm a challenged person. I want to go to the next step. I want to take it to the next level. I want to be the guy that says, you know what, he brought unemployment back to Stevens County. I think that's our base before we do anything else. You'll see in your pamphlets that you have out there, I'm for no tax. I don't think we should have any more taxes right now. I get more questions asked from a retired person of saying, Tony, I'm on a fixed income. I make X amount of money per month. I've took my kids to school. They've taken their kids to school. Why am I paying more for levies and taxes and everything else on my property? I feel for those people because they're right. And all of a sudden, we just keep kind of throwing this money at it, keep throwing money at it. Education's a big one. Our budget for 2015 is going to be $40 billion. $40 billion. 47% of it is kindergarten through 12th grade education. 47%. Can any of you stand up and tell me where that money goes today? I want to be the person that writes that bill and tells you where that money goes. Because if you've got a problem where that money is going, we need to speak out loud. I can't do it, but I can help support it and bring it to it. I can bring the public that really do care of where that money is going. And the bad part is our school teachers probably all need a raise. They haven't had a raise somewhere between 3 and 5 years, whatever the number is. But there's so much money in administrations and yearly budgets. You hear the word yearly budgets all the time. Oh my goodness, if I don't spend my budget, I'm going to lose it to another district or another county, another this. Is budgets the proper way to be managing our dollars today? Why don't we do it on a case-by-case basis? Or why don't we do an allocation? Hey, my roof's 20 years old. Let me start putting a little away from my roof. My roof's going to cost me $20 or $50 or $100,000. Why don't we have a plan that we have the money there for it? Difference between a business person and a person that's never been a business person. You look at land and property management. I'm a property holder in all 3 counties, and I'm proud of that. But I don't want someone telling me if I got 300 or 500 acres that I want to build a pond on it, and I'll go into a little bit of detail. I want to build a pond on my 300 to 500 acres that I have, and I'm not going to affect anyway because I'm a good steward for my land. Tell me why today I got to go to 3 or 4 different buildings to get a land permit to get that done. I can give you an example with Dave and Leduc when we put our paving in. They want us to get engineers. They want us to get all this thing done. All we want to do is spend some money and make our dealership nicer, put paving in. There was nothing in the city that says I needed to get a permit for paving. But gosh, we're willing to spend some money with contractors and ready to spend our hard-earned money to make our facility a better place. It was like all this red tape you always got to fight through to go up there. I'm all for policies and procedures. I said that at first. You have to be a successful business. But you don't have to have 4 or 5 of them in the same pool trying to get one job done. I met with the Farm Bureau this morning. And, he's got one ecology telling him the fence has to be 50 feet from the river. The neighbor up the street's 75. The one on the other side of the river is 100. Why aren't we all on the same page? Now, I can't fix that, but I can grassroots that. I think my power of a business owner is to grassroots that and let our District 7 really know what's going on. I think that'll be my success is the communication factor. Like I said, I like all of the people that are running today. I personally don't have a problem with any one of them. I just think that I can do a little bit better of a job bringing it back to the community. The people that want to raise their hand, that want to get involved, I'm going to give you that opportunity to get involved because I'm going to give you the information. And I think information is key to success. I can't tell you how many people walk in and talk, well, I don't care what goes on. Okay, so you're ready for 11 cents tax in January. You're ready for a state income tax. You're ready for higher education. $1.5 billion needs to go in that budget next year. Oh, no, okay, now I have a problem with it, right? But we need to get more involved. And I think with my grassroots experience, with a little bit of experience that I've had sitting on the floor in Olympia, getting the bills passed that I wanted to get done as a business owner for my business to go forward, I did a great job getting it done. I had a lot of compliments over there. A big issue is, senators keep talking about, I'm doing this and I'm doing that and I'm doing that. Well, where's the results? Tell me where they're at. Show me the results. I don't want someone to stand up here and do it. I want someone to stand up here and show me where they're at. Because if we're going to keep paying these taxes and keep doing these things, if we're all going to be on the same page, let's all be communicating the same way. Let's all let everyone know what's going on. Instead of at the end, we kind of say, well, this is what we did, and I voted no to all this stuff, and gosh, it really was a lame duck season year, and really I couldn't get a whole lot done. The senators really all wanted to go home. Well, you're paying for the service. And as people in Stevens County, because that's where we're at today, you're voting for these people to go in. My black eye in front of all of you today is I'm a car dealer. And you think, oh my goodness, you're a car dealer. What really can you do? Well, I hope you look at it this way. I'm a business person in the state of Washington. I do $50 million a year in the state of Washington for business. My payroll in Stevens County is $2.5 million. I can't say that anywhere else except for in a Rotary room, because you guys all understand business. That's what I bring back to the community. So who's involved? I'm involved. I'm involved every single day. I've been signing those paychecks. I've been listening to those people who can't afford to pay their property taxes. I've been listening to the people coming in for an oil change for the past 12 years. They've told me their whole life story and what's going on and how things need to be different. I'm 43 years old. I got vinegar left. I might not have a hand left today, but I got some vinegar left in my veins that state that I've got something left to give. Goes back to saying, okay, why are you doing this? Every one of you know in this room that me and Dave, myself and Leslie and Becky have been huge people giving back to our community. The hospitals, the schools, the community center we're building today, all of that stuff. And every single kid or every single adult that comes in here, and every one of you that have walked in our door, we were their major sponsor for Rotary last year. Every single time we've given back that money. Well, money only goes so far. Money goes into somewhere that benefits somebody. Think about what my time is worth. No one's ever given me anything. I've done everything that me and Leslie have done. I've been married 20 years. I got 4 great kids. I met some great people when I moved to Colville. I moved over here to open my own business. The reason why I moved to Stevens County 12, almost 13 years ago, I wanted a better place to raise my family. I opened my own business not knowing one person in this community. Not one. Andy Braff was my first attorney when I moved in here and helped me go from a DBA to an incorporated, because that's what I wasn't very smart. I came over, I'll just sell cars. Well, you learn a lot when you grow a business and you're a business person. You learn to kind of dot your I's, cross your T's. You learn to keep doing things the way you're going to do it. My business has increased every single year. Even when we went through as a GM dealer when we were in bankruptcy and everything else, I was on the fence of supporting that. I get that question asked a lot. I'd still be in business today. If they went broke, I'd have another franchise. I'd be a used car dealer or whatever. We sell 90% used as it is. Am I a General Motors fan? Absolutely. I have 2 sons named after it. There's no doubt about what my passion is when it comes to General Motors and Chevrolet, particularly. But like I said, I got to get rid of the car dealer brand. If you guys want to make a change, I think I'm that person. Matter of fact, I know I'm that person. Here's what I do know. I've opened my office in Colville. I'm the first one that's ever done it. I've never seen a senator in Colville before with his own office. So I'm not even a senator yet, but I've already made the step of doing that. I've hired an assistant out of my own money. I'm not taking 1 penny from anybody to run my campaign. I've given you information because a lot of us sit here and say, well, God, that's a good or a bad thing. Well, it's a bad thing. And I'll tell you why it's a bad thing. If you can't, how's your own personal finances if you can't afford to go forward? Senators talk about how important time is. Oh, I want to take this bill to the office. The only bill that our current senator brought, and once again, I'm not talking bad, but he brought 1 bill to the Senate last year, and only one, and that bill was he wanted to fine the politicians if they didn't get out on time. There's not one politician that doesn't want to get out on time. You've got to negotiate between a Democrat and a Republican over there, and they're trying to get on the same page to get out on time. So if we were all employees in this room today, and I'm the new guy, and I walk into the door, and Bob here's the boss, and I walk up and I just say, hey, I think some of these employees are overpaid, or, I don't like the way we're doing things. Can we change pay plans in my first day or my first year on the job? How are we going to get along with the rest of the people going forward? I can't tell you how many times I've heard that already. And I've heard that from the floor over there, from the Senate floor, that, you got to be careful what you're doing over there. That's the difference, I think, between a guy that wants to make a deal and wants to go forward, rather than a deal breaker. And like I said, I like the family and everything else, but I think you have to be really careful of how you approach things. You got to remember, if I want something from them, we've got to all be on the same page. It goes back to just basic, simples. And I know everyone's tired, but I do have one saying that I really do like, and I guess we'll ask some questions. If you keep doing the same thing, you'll continue to have the same results. I do know that for a fact. I appreciate your time. I really do. If you got some questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. Anybody? Dave?
Tony, you're running as a Republican. I think Danzel's a Republican too. Just tell us, how does that work? Is this settled in the primary, or is it settled in the general?
It all goes to the general because there's only 2 of us. So the deal is, he was in there last year because of the John Smith, Bob Morton went in the middle halftime. So the county commissioners got together, put in John Smith. It automatically triggered an election. And so when that one election came out between Smith and Danzel, obviously we've seen all the wars going on between those two. And then Danzel came ahead and won that. So he's been in 1 year. We're both Republicans. So when we go speak, we're both Republicans. We have a lot of the same ideas. If he was sitting here today like he was yesterday, we have a lot of the same ideas. I just think I can do a better job and get it sold stronger and faster than he can.
So my question is then, if there's only 2 running, is your election decided in the primary?
General.
Or is it decided in the general?
General only.
And if you're the only 2 people that are running at all, and there's no Democrat running,
Correct.
Is there no Republican primary then?
There's not. Well, there is. We're going to them. But the problem is when there's 2 Republicans going in, we're on different days. So when I go in to do my deal, I'm not asking for any money. So when you go in to do these deals, normally they want to endorse you. and they want to help give you funds and stuff. The problem where I've kind of knocked them off the edge here a little bit is I'm not taking no funds, and I personally have a problem going in. We're both Republicans, one getting money and one not, one being endorsed and one not. I've got a quick story that I'll share with you. I was over on the other side of the mountains, and we were at a same function that we were just talking about. And it was for the prosecuting attorney's office. And one gal sold me right away here. She had her warrant, she had her college, she had her deal, she had her experience, she came from another community. The other person was on that party for the past 7-8 years and did a good job at parties and a good job putting water in the flowers, kind of like what my Debbie does in town. And guess which one got the vote? So I have an issue with kind of how those parties work, and I've explained my issues with them. But if you're a Democrat and Republican, I think they need to help you out from the Republican Party to get that election done. It's kind of a gray area. They want to talk to both of us. I went through my vetting process last week in Tooele, and I think I did very well. So they put out their who they're I guess let's say sponsoring or backing up. Neither one of me and Brian were on the list. So they decided to be a neutral party with both of us. And same way in Pend Oreille County. Ferry County is July 8th or 9th. And then actually Okanagan's this 10th. I go to Okanagan on Saturday. So I'll give that same exact speech with the same exact letter. It's pretty hard to pick on two Republicans. We kind of have the same idea. I don't want no money. You know, my opponent, obviously, you know, he's taking money from, different things. And so we kind of have a difference with that. Hope that answers your question. I know there's a lot to...
I was just wondering, if the Democrat ran, would then it would be a Democrat and Republican in the
It would be.
election.
That's correct.
It would decide as far as the
That is correct.
Top two.
No, top two, the primary. Yeah. So whoever gets the primary, the top two, even you can have 4 Republicans and 2 Democrats, it's the top 2 in the
Top two
primary.
in the primary.
That is
Okay,
correct.
that was my question.
Yes. So people have asked me all the time, God, why don't you have signs up, or why aren't you out, doing your... My campaign hasn't even started yet. Really, because I guess I got to ask you, why would I start it so early, being that no one really cares? We're going to go boating and golfing and do all the great things of why we really live in Stevens County. But it is important to get out grassrooting to start the seeds and start watering them. Any other questions? Okay.
What do you think your position will be on illegal people in our state from a state standpoint?
Well, here, and I think that's crystal clear. The Republican would say, and I would say as well, that we need to do a good job taking care of our borders, and we need to get a crystal clear system in there to take care of the illegals. I don't have the exact answer, the crystal ball, but it's something that I would be for, is we need to get a good system going and either send them home. This deal with Arizona, obviously it's a big deal right now, where they brought all these kids from Texas to Arizona. It's a huge issue right now. No one has the magic wand. I don't think it's putting up fences. I think it's stopping the people getting in and making sure that we send them back to the country that they came from.
And what does the state do about that?
I think the state needs to be on the same page. Obviously we border a Canadian, but if you go to Okanagan, and I'm going to learn a lot more about that, but we have Jamaicans, and we have everybody in Okanagan, because we're a big orchard area, and unfortunately, if we would just do a better job cutting a little bit of that red tape and putting people back to work instead of handing out money every Friday, I think these people wouldn't have a problem going to pick an orchard to make a living. And it would stop that people coming into our state. They're coming in because there's work here, Dick. And if we're not letting our own people go out and get these jobs, and we're not putting a proposal to go get our own people back to work, tell me why the illegals shouldn't come into our country. As far as in stopping it, heck, that's way before I was ever born. But I'm all for stopping it because I think that's the proper way. To write that bill myself, I don't know if I could or if I would have the knowledge to writing that type of a bill. But it does need to be stopped, and it does need to be a high priority because it's taken away from a lot of our living to go forward. Any other questions? Got nothing on unemployment and drug testing, and I figured that'd be the first one.
So you see how you got Mark Schessler on the...
I do.
On the
Yep.
buddy of yours, you like it?
Yep. So that was one of my things is we get up and talk, and you're going to hear from all the politicians. My deal was, let me just tell you what they did last year, and there it is from Olympia, and there's the people that talk instead of a Tony or Brian or Shelley or Joel or whoever. There's what happened last year, and that's what they accomplished, and that's what they've done. and kind of tells you the road that we have in front of us and where it's going to go. And it's going to be a tough road in 2015. Let me just tell you, when I tell you, honestly, we've got a very tough road ahead of us next year with carbon tax and gas tax. And, the governor's already stated crystal clearly, and if you read the news, what the United States has put on us, they want to improve us by 73%. The governor wants to be the greenest state in the United States. And I'm all for that in downtown Seattle or wherever they want to put it, but it doesn't happen in District 7. And I'm sorry, we're a little bit different. Our household or person per acre is a little bit different than it is in Seattle, Tacoma, even Spokane or whatever else. So when people ask me, what are you really for? And I'm biased on this. This could get me in the worst trouble in the world of ever going forward with this position. I am all for District 7. And I have to do what's best for the people that are going to put me in. If they decide to put me in and give me that opportunity, I'm excited to make that decision for District 7. I'm excited to go back to the public and get people, on my hotline and say, hey, Ron, what do you think of this deal? Or hey, Dave McGrain, what do you think of this deal? I've got a question. Here's where it's coming. How do we approach this? I'm excited to build a strong relationship. You've got to ask yourself one question. What is the Senate, the senator, and what have we done for Stevens County? I know what we've done for Ferry County. When you're a county commissioner and you're a senator in the same year, it's easy to get the opt-out land deal. That's a pretty easy deal, but what did that do for us? Where's our jobs? Jobs are a priority in our community. I'll take that one to the grave. We got to create more jobs. We have to, for our future, for ourselves in this room. And I think when I lay out my program in July, that I'm very excited to do, that you guys will go, I think this guy's got something. I wouldn't be saying it if I wouldn't be putting it out, right? You got to back up what you say. I think it's going to be a great ride. I know I'm the biggest underdog in the world because here's the problem with you guys and me now as in Stevens County. We don't like change. Man, I don't want a car dealer representing my community. I'm happy where I'm at. Yeah, I think he's done a good job. He knows my farmer Joe down the road, and and I think we'll be okay. I'm not okay with that. I'm not. I want representation of where my money's going. I have to do it to the state. I have to do it to my employees. I have to do it to my business partners. Heck, I got to do it to my attorneys sometimes. One last thing I'd like to share with you, what kind of person that I am. And Dave LeDuc, Rod Fogel, and even Dave McGrain can categorize to this. I have done $1 million deals on a handshake with my partners without a contract. They still support me today, 12 years later. There's husbands and wives that can't do that when they say, death do us part. I'm a man of my word. I've been a good business person. Car business is the toughest skin business in the world. You're dealing with things that gets people to work. You're dealing with things that they spend all their money to buy, and unfortunately they were created to make. I don't care if you drive a Toyota, Chevrolet, or a Lexus. They all have a service department. That's how you handle it. That's how you grow. You cannot give everything back or you wouldn't be in business. You wouldn't be hiring more employees. You wouldn't be taking care of your community. Toughest business in the world is the car business. So I look at this next adventure that I want to try and get involved in and really make a difference with jobs. I'm the only one that jumped off the cliff and said, you know what, I'm going to give it everything I got to go for it. And really that's the bottom line. And I'm proud to get up and say that. I truly am. I think I can make a hell of a difference if I'm given that opportunity. I do not think I'm a politician. I'm not going to ever speak like a politician. I think most of you know me in this room know that. But what I am going to do is I'm going to give you facts. I'm going to give you communication crystal clearly, just like I do right now, currently, today. And I'm going to give you the best service in the world. That's what I can offer. So if you like that and you want to know more, obviously I've given you the information. I got an office in downtown Colville, and I'm there 11 to 3 every day unless I'm at a meeting somewhere, a speech. And I know I got a tough road to go, and I know as an underdog, I've got the really toughest thing in the world to do because a lot of people have already been on that side. And so they say, you know, I don't want to jump because I've been a supporter of this guy's or this senator or this representative, so I don't want to jump. I like where I'm at. Like I said, I have the toughest job in the world, but I know one thing, win, lose, or draw at the end of the day on November 4th, I'm going to be a better person. I'm going to be more educated in my communities than I ever been, and my smartness level has gone from here to up here, let me just tell you. because people want answers. So when I don't know, guess what I get to do? I get to go look them up. And I get to find out. And I call everyone back and tell them what my honest opinion is. And that's all I can do right now until we get everything moving, going the right way. So I do appreciate it. Thanks for your time.